So, okay, well, welcome. This is our first story time. And if this takes off, like I think it could, this might be a monthly or a bi-monthly get together so that we can share because so much has been happening. And now that I've just passed the 1 year mark and our group is growing, heading towards 200 members, it's lots of stories are coming our way, and unless we grab them and pin them to the bulletin board, we're not going to remember them because it's wonderful. So what I'm going to first off I'm going to start off with Sandy. Sandy was one of the first people that enrolled in LifeWave on my team. And she sent her story, which I think is really profound. And this came after being on the leadership Monday night um, Zooms that we have. And so, anyway, so I'll read to you. My first year has been amazing. Prior to using the patches, I had reached a plateau in my healing of my brain injury. I was still unable to use the computer longer than 45 to maybe 60 minutes a day. So I used it in small segments. When I tried to think deeply or draw on my own brain power, I found myself again feeling the pressure from within my head, creating such throbbing I had to lay down or go for a walk in nature. My lifestyle changed dramatically even after I reached a point where I was able to function again, but it was a shell of what I had been doing and enjoying. I knew I wanted to learn as much as I could about this company and the products, but was inhibited by the fact my brain could only handle small doses. Happy to say I'm now able to function as I once did. I am not yet 100%, but I am thrilled at my progress. All since August, when I could add Eon, X39, and 49. I will be forever grateful to David for giving the world these life-changing products. And that's from Sandy Duff. And I loved how she finished it off. And she said, and I've got my happy back. And that is worth price in any dollar denomination you want to put to it. So that's where we'll start off. What I'm going to do is, Jody, I'm going to call on you to tell your story about your wonderful episode with the pavement.
Okay. Okay, let's see here. Am I on? Okay, I'm under me. Well, I also take care of houses and dogs on the side just because I like to. And I have one dog that I pet sit for he's really, really sweet. The only problem is he's very vicious around other dogs, really vicious. And he's this little 40-pound dog. Well, so at the time, if I see a dog, we go in one direction, see a dog go in the other direction. So we're kind of have a windy kind of walk. When I walked we were walking and we were one direction, went away from another dog. Wouldn't you know it, I missed one dog. And I was trying to turn him to go in one direction, and he leaped out to probably attack this other dog, but I had him on the leash, and I lost my balance. I hit the pavement on the street very hard, and I was bleeding all over. And thank God some neighbors came out because I was kind of in shock because I just didn't quite get what was going on. I mean, I didn't let go of the dog. That's a good news. And then it turns out I had 4 stitches right here above my eye. And I was very fortunate because of many things. So I, of course, asked, well, how do we cure this, right? Because the doctor said, oh, it's going to take you months and months. I mean, it's going to be a long recovery, blah, 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 until they don't see these little stitches. Well, that wasn't good enough for me. So I use carnosine almost every single day right around this area. And I have a testimonial on affordable light therapy for you page. Within 1 week and 7 days, you could hardly even see where they went in and did the stitches.
Oh, and I love the pictures that you put on affordable light therapy for you, because boy, the fact that you fell on your face
Yes, I did.
on the cement,
Yep.
and just to see how that was split there was really very dramatic how that was. But the healing, that's so did you just use the one type of patch?
I use the carnosine really, and then yeah, I use some Eon, but basically I use the carnosine because that was heating the tissues.
Right. But you've
And I
been
believe I
on
might have used, I'll have to look back.
X39
I
and
might use
49 for
X39.
some
Oh,
time, right?
X39, X40. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll have to go back and look at my whole testimony. I believe that, I mean, I always use X39, X49. Absolutely. But I'm very,
Mhm.
very grateful because that was pretty scary to happen. And I think that even when I went to my doctor, I had my doctor take a picture of me. I said, look, take a picture of me. You told me it would take so long to heal. And even in that little part where like the two parts come together, I said, look how much it's healed. And he said, yeah, you're right. And he took a picture of it. I told him you should.
That's
I see how good this stuff is.
that's great. Well, that's wonderful. Well, I know Carol's just excused herself for a minute. She will be back. So, Kareen, tell us. I know uh, uh, I can remember a knee story, but I think there's also a story there for hubby that I think is pretty wonderful as well. So,
Yeah, and are we keeping these to a length of time or we're just sharing our stories?
well, I think because we've got, you know, we've got till we've got another good half hour. So yeah, I know I'm gonna ask Carol to share several stories. So but
Oh, okay,
you
okay.
you share a few. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, mine, well, I'll probably won't be long anyway, but I was just doing my elevator speech kind of idea, but so when I hurt my knee gardening, because I wasn't training for gardening, like like I think I need to anyway. Um, so Barb happened to call me, and I wasn't really looking for anything at the time, but I knew that I wanted this product that we used to have at the company we were with, and it was no longer available. And I, kind of in the back of my mind, I was looking for something that was going to do regenerative repair kind of idea is what it was. And with my knee, then I thought, okay, well, let's give this a go. So I got the patches and all we had was the LifeWave at the time. So I used the LifeWave on my patch on my knee and did it in the different locations. I did the eye of the knee, and it took away the pain. Like the other points, I tried to find the right one because it seemed like it was all over. I couldn't really pinpoint the pain. So it worked really well for the pain, but then a month after that, we had gotten the X39. So I thought, well, I want to just make sure that everything's okay with that knee now, that I'm not going to have any problems going forward. So I put the X39 on with the two LifeWave, just for inflammation and stuff. I was just doing it as a test really. And I noticed a difference right away when I added the X39 to the mix. So then I was pretty much sold that this product was going to do what I've been looking for. And because I trusted Barb with the other company we were with, she was very rigorous in figuring out, is this company worthy? Am I following the right path? So then I decided to trust her again with this one, and I'm glad I did. So yeah, my knee is fine, has been ever since. And that was last summer. So, and I'm very happy that we chose this company. Um, and so the other story is my husband plays hockey and we went to a tournament in Victoria. And usually at tournaments, you get a lot of games and he plays regularly once a week. in his no contact hockey. And he ended up having contact with someone as they were both running into each other. And it came across his ribs. The other guy's shoulder came into his ribs. And so he was a little bit sore, you know, after the game, but he did actually said, I saw stars when I hit the ice. But he got up fairly quickly. So that night it was a little bit sore, and they were going to have games the next day. And he just got up the next morning. As soon as we got back to the room, I put the patches on him. I thought, well, we'll try doing the LifeWave and the X39. I don't know why I brought them. I just thought, you never know. And so it took away the initial pain. He slept through the night really well, but when he woke up in the morning, he was noticing it was a little bit painful to breathe, you know, so he decided I'm not going to play. So we did the X39, the Eon and the LifeWave, you know, kind of in the triangle in the area that it was in. And we did that for about a week. And he was feeling better and better every day. And we never did go get it checked because he thought, well, if it's a cracked rib, what are they going to do anyway, right? You can't really do much. So we really don't know what it was, whether it was just a bruise or what, but anyway, he was fine within a week, and back playing hockey within 2 weeks. He was just kind of taking it slow because he didn't want to make sure he didn't redo something that he'd already just healed from. So yeah, so really good success. He stubbed his toe, and anyway, we're patching him wherever we can.
Great. Well, I remember you sharing once, Corrine, I think it was so cute. You said, because, you know, he was just turning 65, right? And he was playing hockey. And I think you commented that all he wanted to do was say, okay, I'm 65 and I'm playing hockey. But then with getting the stamina and the energy to be able to do that, because this is night leagues after you work all day and then driving to Courtney to play hockey is quite something. But then to realize that, hey, he could really get better at this. So
Yeah. And they do it
I
at
thought that was really,
9 o'clock at night when
yeah.
I'm not thinking about doing anything but going to bed.
Yeah. Wow, that's great. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So Carol, I'll bring you up because I know you have several stories for you and family connections, etc. So tell us what you've got for us.
Okay, the first story, and this is really my favorite story, is and this was just after I think maybe I'd only had my patches a few weeks, and my neighbor came over, and she's had mobility issues for years and years. And in fact, at one point, she was wearing a brace on her leg, as the doctor had instructed her to do. She had difficulty getting up from a chair, and then it would take her a while to get moving. And even walking all the time, her knees would really hurt. So she said, well, and I said, these are amazing. Look at the stories. She said, well, I'm going to try this. So the first day she got her patches, we were going to a concert. And after the concert, she got up and walked out of there like I have not seen her walk in years. And I stood back because I think my jaw probably dropped open. I could hardly believe that she could just walk out of there. And that's my favorite story. And she looked at me and she said, well, aren't you coming? I said, do you realize that you just walked out of here? Oh, she said, I feel like I did years ago. And she continues to do that. She went on vacation, and all the people that know her just cannot believe how good she's walking. So that's my favorite story. And just tell me when to stop, Barb, please, when you.
Well, I just gotta interrupt you on that one because Carol sent me a voice message on my phone, and I've kept it
Did you?
because Carol is so excited for Karen. She said, you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe this. She just got up and she tore off, and I couldn't even catch up to her. Oh my goodness, what's going on here? was just
It was
marvelous.
really funny. I
And
remember doing that now.
it was really good. So carry on. That was great.
Well, and last night when I was at choir, I had an X39 here. And I think this is the first time that somebody asked me, what is that? At any time I've worn any of the patches. So I just briefly mentioned it, and because we didn't have very much time, but I'm going to follow up with her because she was curious. So I'm going to follow up with her soon, today or tomorrow, as soon as I can get to that. But what I realized was uh, I would have catches in my throat from seasonal things that occur, and I don't seem to have that at all anymore. And if for the last few weeks I thought maybe I'm imagining this, but I'm thinking my singing feels different, like much better. My throat feels better, my range seems to be better, and I thought, oh my gosh, this must be from the patches because I don't know what else it could be from. So I think definitely for the concert, which is coming up in May, I'll be wearing some patches. I'm
How
sure.
big's your choir? How big is the choir? How many
Well,
sleeves do you need?
I know I need a lot because I don't know if there's 200 of us this year, but it's a very large choir, and that's been around. That's really the goal, to have about that many. I think we're a little bit under at this point. So anyway, my brother loves the patches, and he was having some um, difficulty with his thumbs, like a little bit of tingling. I'm not sure if that's a good word I can say, or some numbness. And he was also having a bit of that in his toes. He never shared that with me until after, and he said, I don't have that anymore. And he had not used the patches for very long when he told me that. So that to me was very exciting. And because he's a musician, he needs his thumbs to play the guitar. So that was something. Now you notice today I don't have my glasses on. I'm really focusing on this because my glasses are not really working for me anymore, and I'm just about ready to go and have my eyes tested again. And really all I need them for now is reading. And I have done Dr. Karen's eye protocol. One day I was having difficulty reading my computer because I'm using my laptop now, and I thought, I can't read that now. I can read the writing behind you now, Barb, today. So I'm really happy that my eyesight is improving, and my goal is really to be without the glasses. I can't wear them for driving there. I see better without them than with them now. So I'm pretty happy about that. A couple other things that I've noticed is that when I go to block therapy, if any of you know what that is, I'm not sure, but it's a wooden block, and it's about the size of a yoga block, and you position it in different places on the body with breathing exercises. And a lot of times the next day I would feel it, or I'd be a little bit stiff and sore. I don't notice that anymore. The recovery there's no recovery. It's just that doesn't happen. So the last thing that I would like to mention is about the skin. I just had to, in January, renew my driver's license. And I know they're terrible pictures that they put on the driver's license, but I looked at my old one and my new one when I got it, and I thought, wow, I look younger than I did 5 years ago. They're really terrible pictures, but anyway, I'm sure that I do. My daughter has noticed my skin was really a lot better than it was. And my mother taught me to take care of my skin since I was about 12 years old. So it's something that's very important to me because it was ingrained in me that I must do that. I love L.B.A.
That's great, and many people do for sure, because it is powerful, and I think we're going to be hearing a lot more stories once people um, get onto the Revive eye cream as well. That's really quite
Yes.
amazing.
I was sitting in choir last night, and I was looking at everybody as they smiled, and I couldn't help but look at all their eyes, and I thought, wow, they all need this.
And Corrine was asking, what is the eye protocol? I believe that's in the
Oh,
micro trainings, right?
yes, I believe it is. Ice wave on the temples, day one, or night one, whenever you want to wear it, and alternating with the above the eyebrows, and then X39 or Eon alternating, right on the middle of the forehead. And I had done that green for about 7 days, and now I do it periodically, but then I would do it a couple times a week, and now I do it periodically.
It's great. And I think also, Dr. Karen also said that people can also put the patches right on if they've got a night mask. They can put them right
Mhm.
on the night mask too if they so choose. So
She
lots of,
did indeed.
we can certainly learn all kinds of things. Linda, would you like to share what's happening in your world? Welcome back. Good to have you here. Wonderful to see you again.
Yeah, I've been busy with people around me not well, so
Mm,
sometimes you have to take care of family, right?
yes, you sure do.
Um, I think for me, one of the most significant things with the patches is the Aeon patch. When in 2000, I had a very serious disease where I had part of my body removed, and they did a radiation treatment, and it ruined my hormones. So every year in the fall, I've had to go on antidepressants. And this year I didn't. I was able um, to put the Aeon patch right behind my ear. And so I call it my happy patch. So anyway, that's just, it's worked. I tried putting the Aeon patch in different places that were on the booklet, and it didn't really notice much, but when I put it behind my ear, that was the place. And it's like, that's really, really wonderful. So I'm very grateful for that. And also for my husband, his hair is, the back of it is pretty well, it was like white, and it's pretty well all brown now. He still has gray on the sides and the front, but on the back, I took a little picture, and it's like, my goodness, he's actually, his hair has reversed, I would say 5 years. So that's pretty exciting. That tells me that the patches are working, and he takes them all. So I'm not sure which one's working the best, but anyway, yeah. So thank you. It's been good.
That, that's wonderful. Thank you. And you got started in August, right? Is that correct?
September
So,
4th.
so I mean, for Noel to have that kind of response, to
Yeah,
have a visual response is just amazing. And what I love about that too is that we know if we're seeing it externally on the skin or the
yeah,
hair, then there's some stuff going on inside.
inside. Yeah, for sure.
So, and just that, claiming that repair
Yeah,
is just so marvelous. We're just so appreciative
yeah,
and just really terrific. Well, we've been, practicing our stories and uh, just putting it into context. And, for me, before LifeWave, I shared that where I really had the experience was laying on the hard cement floor of the grocers. And what had happened is somebody's grapes had fallen through their buggy, and they were not visible. And Ron and I were walking around with a little carry basket. And all of a sudden I was walking, and all of a sudden I was airborne, flying in the air, and came crashing down on the cement floor. And the first thought was, wow, they said they tried to help me up, and I said, no, I'm not moving. I'm staying here. The shock was pretty phenomenal. And anyways, progressing from there, when I finally was able to get up and get to urgent care center here, the physician said it would be months and months of recovery. It would not be a short fix at all. So I started doing, I already was doing nutritionally stuff, but I obviously added the chiro and massage to my program because I knew I needed the help, and then, all the stuff that goes along with that. But they wanted me twice a week, and that was like $180 just for one of them. So that was rather cost prohibitive. But the bigger thing in my mind, with, as Corrine had mentioned, we're familiar with working with master cells and repair, but going for massage or chiro, they could only work on one area of the body at a time. And I wanted total body repair. I just didn't want it localized to hip or knee or neck or back or what I wanted. So at that point in time is when I started the patches. And it wasn't long. Certainly I've shared with you before that I certainly kept a journal of what the score was for each area before I put the patches on. And it one, 0 to 10, what was the, severity where I put the patch, because of course we're all trying all these different places, right? And then at the end of the 12 hours, what was the score? If it started at an 8, what did it go down to? So through that, and I really recommend that to everybody, that's how I found, like Linda shared, how she found the places that work the best for her. And so I still encourage that for anybody, no matter if you're new or you've been on the patches for a year, because we just don't know what's going to make the difference, and just to be experimental and play around with it. And so it wasn't very long, weeks, not months, that I was recovering from all of that. But what really surprised me was I didn't realize how depressed I had gotten. And one day it was really a wonderful waking up experience to say, I got me back. Just like Sandy had said and Linda had said, her happy patch. I felt I had my happy back. And along with that came the hope. But I'm forever grateful that I got thrown back into the trough of where the majority of North Americans live. And that's with that ongoing kind of stress and angst and worry, and because the what ifs flooded in like a torrent about, you know, how do I get Ron home? I'm the sole driver, What about mobility issues? Are we gonna have to move somewhere and have assisted? I mean, just the what ifs, the what ifs, the what ifs came flooding in. And to realize again firsthand what that was like was just absolutely imperative for me to be able to be more compassionate when I'm talking to individuals, because they're in the midst of the mess. We popped out to the other side, so we can bring the hope back to them. And I think that's maybe a bigger part of what LifeWave is just bringing hope to the hopeless that have given up or have tried so many different things but haven't quite got to where they're seeing success yet. So that's been a really wonderful experience for me. So at that point, what I'm going to do here is call that for a pause for a moment.